more offensive firepower team. Pine Creek, as always, gonna worry more about the defensive side, play that ball in the midfield, and then try and attack with some counters. But we'll see how this game goes. We're getting excited, and they're just about ready to kick off at midfield, although they're checking the goal at the right end here. The starters for Liberty Boy, Luke Price in goal, helping the official get that one nailed down, I believe. I'm not sure what happened there. But, Andy, this should be a good matchup. And we talk about the storied tradition of Pine Creek. And the Lancers, both of these teams played Rampart very, very tough. So the top three teams in this league probably going to state. As they come into this game, the Lancers are ranked 20th in the RPI. Pine Creek is 26th. So a lot more riding on this game than just the third place or second place.
I was joking with both coaches before the game. The loser of this game on Sunday morning will be hitting refresh on their computer over and over again, wondering not only are they in, but where are they going to fall in the playoff seeding.
And the Lancers control the ball coming out. That one well out of play. Brandon Shaughnessy sent it by, and Pine Creek will go back to get it. Mitch Frost chasing that ball down. Finally, the ball kid comes in there.
And that was a big hit to start that kickoff. The wind is definitely coming out of the south. It's going to be in Liberty's advantage early on. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out here in this first half with Pine Creek going into the wind.
The south, the right side, as you're looking at it, that's John Schrader pushing this ball ahead. Jimmy Lasarica on the side, and now Pine Creek will take this ball. Landon Platt. Back to Luke Wayland. Wayland, who plays kicks for the football team. Pine Creek going to take their time just to assess some things here, and the Lancers.
Well, and both of these teams are very comfortable with each other. Schools separated by 2 miles. All of these players know each other. They have all seen each other throughout growing up playing club against each other. And so because of that familiarity between the two groups, you're definitely going to see some patience early on from both these clubs. Nobody wants to make a mistake with so much riding on the line, but just knock the ball around, get a lot of touches, get multiple players involved, and just kind of feel out each other here in the first 5 minutes.
Nice takeaway and turn there by Dawson Calloway for Liberty, and now they'll have a throw-in. The Lancers, Kylan Crafts-Timming does the honors, gets it into Shaughnessy. They'll come back to Timming on the left side. And again, the Lancers moving up the field with it here. We'll see if they have someone who can do a throw in to get it closer to the box, maybe into the 18-yard. But right now, they come inside. This is the man they've got to look out for. That is Kaleb Norwood. 26 points on the year with 10 goals. There's a shot. The first shot on goal. Jake Zink is there, up to the test, but a good shot nonetheless.
And that's Ryan Benitez doing a great job on the ball, having a slight touch to his right, giving himself a good scoring angle and hitting a ball nice and low. Zink able to go down and make the save. You want that ball to be a little bit wider. Low and wide are going to be your scoring angles, but a good job from the Lancers coming out. They're the younger group. They have a number of sophomores on the field, number of juniors, and the senior-laden Pine Creek team. The Lancers don't look intimidated at all this afternoon.
No. We were talking a little earlier before the game, Andy, about Ben Corley and his team who has won this league so many years. Kind of odd that they're playing for second and third place here today.
Well, and, we talked about how strong this league is, but it's I think it's a testament to the new coaches that have come into this league and been able to counter that Pine Creek tradition. When you're coaching young men, sometimes you have to just get over that, it's Pine Creek thing. And, it's with talking to Coach Woodson before the game, that's exactly what he was talking to us guys. Like, it's just Pine Creek. You know everybody on this team. You come out and keep playing. You've done so well this year. Don't be intimidated by the Pine Creek thing like a lot of teams end up doing, especially on this field.
Brian Silver gets the foul there, and then Pine Creek sets up for the free kick. The Lancers do a good job of turning it back the opposite way. Off Mitch Jones and out of bounds, or Mitch Frost and out of bounds. And the throw in for Liberty will come from Travis Slade once the ball kid runs it down.
And you could see the wind come and play on that free kick for Pine Creek. Not able to drive that ball into the box, more of a floater going into the top of the 18. Sometimes teams will adjust and start playing short balls as they're into the wind to just try to keep that possession. Others will try to hit a floater close.
And it's going from right to left across your screen if you're watching. Pine Creek working into that wind. Move it ahead, bouncing it back into midfield.
Number 7, Brian Silver, doing a really good job for Pine Creek in that center midfield position. He's getting a lot of touches, but very simple with his touches is one thing I like. He doesn't hang on to the ball. He looks for a quick 1-2 touch. There you see it again, just a quick one touch out of there, and it helps Pine Creek maintain that possession in the in their defensive midfield.
Midfield, the often overlooked part of this game. You want to get your possession. Now moving forward. Christian Sequist tried to get it to Schrader, and it's taken away by Liberty, and here they come. Norwood. It's a Crafts Timming on the outside. Couldn't catch up with that ball. Good look, though, by Norwood.
And that's a heavy pass, but the right idea. You want to utilize that space on the flank, and Crafts Timming doing a good job of finding room on the outside and able to get on the end of that. But those are the right ideas that I know Coach Woodson wants to see out of his group.
Peyton Cameron sending that one in just a little bit in front of Norwood. Zink plays it, and we'll see if the goal kick gets him further up the field. Nice high ball. Lancer's able to field that one and move it forward. Shaughnessy. And Pine Creek staves it off. Now they'll go forward. So far, neither team mounting much of an offense.
And I think that's because both of these groups are so comfortable with each other that they understand where the threats are coming from. Liberty understands Schrader and what he can do, and Sequist, you see him on the outside now, what he can do. But the same thing going the other way with a player like Norwood up top for the Lancers. Pine Creek understands where the goals come from and what they have to do defensively. So because of that familiarity with both of these groups, the game seems, is going to be played between you can see the football 20-yard line, and it's going to be a midfield battle because both these teams are honoring those special players up top from each side.
Slade with a throw in and a quick steal there by Pine Creek's Will Jones. He'll send it forward. Sequist trying to chase it down. Lancers might have to just play that one out. Tried to play it up the line, but it went out off the foot of Devin Quintana, and Pine Creek comes right back at it. Quickly inside to Sequist. Now the reverse field, trying to get it to Silver. Silver was on the move, and a nice cutoff there for the Lancers and Peyton Cameron.
Peyton Cameron doing a great job coming up from his defensive outside back position and closing that gap and making that tackle. Players like Pine Creek, the players like the Pine Creek players in the midfield are so dangerous that you have to close that space away right away. You can't allow them to have any room to operate.
Shaughnessy playing it forward. This is Slade down the right side. He's running with Norwood. Tried to get it to him. Cut off there nicely by Sequist, who's back.
That was a great turn by Slay on his defender and tacking that line. Probably needed to take the ball all the way down to the end line and hit a cross. Tried to hit an early cross, and Pine Creek did a good job defending it.
Silver sending it. We got a man running. Jimmy Lasarica coming down the right-hand side. He's going to have a shot here, but no. Out comes Luke Price and just swallows up that ball. Lasarica had players running with him down there, Sequist, but just couldn't get it done.
Lasarica doing a great job on the outside, finding space, a little heavy on his last touch, which is allows Price to make the simple save. But that's the room on the outside we're talking about. Both of these teams are looking to knock the ball around, get lots of touches, and then look to attack the width. Attack that flank with your speed on the outside. And you see Lasarica standing all the way on the end line. He's hovering over that yellow line because he's trying to create as much depth as he can, as much room as he can on that attack.
Sequist and Schrader tried to get something going there, but the Lancers cut that off. Brennan Bangford now will set up for a kick. Sends it forward, trying to get it to Norwood up there, and it's going to go off Pine Creek. They can't run it down, and that was a good move to get the ball moved up the field. Now they come back inside to Kaleb Norwood. Good defense there by Will Jones. Gets it out to Sequist. And Silver. Lasarica calling for it on the far side. And Pine Creek's going to just settle down. Platt to Silver. Back to Platt. Just waiting for that one moment. Move those forwards up. Nice job by Schrader, and he gets it to Lasarica. Lasarica up the right side. Bumped a little bit by Peyton Cameron, but he's still got it. Lasarica, a short turn back into Sequist, who couldn't gather it, and a good job at the Lancer defense once again.
Rica doing a great job again of finding space. Schrader does a nice job of having a simple two-touch ball to him out and finding that space on the width, but the Lancers do a good job scrambling defensively. Once Cameron was beat initially, team defense came into play and just took away that space for the Eagles.
Liam Reynolds, one of the captains for this team, coming in. There's a good shot of John Schrader coming out for Pine Creek. Also out of the game, Brian Silver. And into the game, Justin Abati. Did I say that right, Andy?
I think you said that right.
Learned that one. Liberty will set up for the free kick, get their forwards forward. And it'll be Davis Tyra taking this one. Norwood's looking for it, and look at them all lined up. I expect one into the box here. Tyra sends it. Pine Creek is there. Price doesn't even have to play that one.
That's a really good ball for the Lancers with the wind at your back. Drive that ball into the box. See if you can get a slight deflection on it. You're going to see it here. Does a nice job driving that ball in, just looking for a little flick on the ball right there and able to get on the end of it for the Lancers, and Price doing a good job of letting it go wide. You know, I thought it was interesting that Coach Corley for the Eagles going to his bench so often here, but he's doing a lot of teaching on the sidelines. All of the players that are coming off are getting direct instruction right away. So this is the third and fourth sub have already entered the game after the 10 minutes. As you can tell, Coach Corley with his group is just doing a lot of teaching, has a lot of instruction going on, trying to let his guys, trying to do a lot of learning for his guys, right? Trying to let them know where the space is and where he wants them to attack from.
Norwood gets it over to Benitez. Benitez now looks things around, tries to move it forward to Callaway. That's going to be sent back out, and Kylan Crafts-Timming picks it up for the throw-in. He'll come shortly to Benitez. Almost lost it. Goes to Callaway, and a nice step there, but Lancers keep it alive.
And those are the two players up top for the Lancers, Callaway and Norwood up top. You see they're always looking to turn and go. And they do a really good job of playing off of each other. That's your two forwards up top. They do a nice job into that space, but look for Callaway to be very involved offensively.
Man, look at Shaughnessy, Brandon Shaughnessy moving it through. Whelan comes over and kicks that one out of there, but the Lancers keep it alive. Travis Slade trying to make a move on the outside. Good job defensively there by Wheeland. They'll come back up to Benitez, trying to reverse the field. Pine Creek is there and on it. But Benitez gets by Reynolds.
And Liberty's doing a lot of good work, but that's too long of a square pass. That's a 45-yard ball on the ground straight across. It's easily picked off by the Eagles. Liberty's going to have to be creative in that offensive third because you see Pine Creek sagging down defensively. There's not a lot of space. You have to be creative in your ability to find that last run to be able to get a good shot on goal.
It was a good look at the freshman, Jackson Isaacs, in the game for Pine Creek. Don't see a lot of that with this senior-laden team. Nice job by Reynolds. One of the tri-captains on this team moves it through, gets it to Sequest, tried to get it back, and it's cut off. And a job nicely done by the Lancers right there, Brennan Bangford. Senior captain in his own right for the Lancers.
Bangford doing a good job out of his center back position, coming up, not only winning that tackle, but being able to keep the ball, have a nice little spin move, and then play it wide, get it to the width of the field where the space is. Good job from your veteran center back for the Lancers.
Liam Reynolds will play this one in. Plays it to the midfield. That's Christian Falentine in there. And back to get it, Aiden Kavanaugh. Now plays it forward to Rica. And I believe that's going to stay with Pine Creek. Kavanaugh will throw in. Try to get to Rica. Plays the bounce. Can't get it back. Shaughnessy now plays it forward to Kaleb Norwood. Look away. He is dangerous. And a nice touch to Callaway on the outside. He'll wait and regroup now. Send it to the middle of the field, and Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy tries to collect it. Reynolds cuts him off and has to come out to Benitez.
And that Norwood-Callaway connection is very critical to defend for the Eagles because they're so quick. But here you see Crafts Timming doing a great job from his outside winger position, coming in and making something happen. And that's that creativity I was talking about, getting your outside wingers involved in this game, because it can't just be the 2 players up top for the Lancers.
No, but Christian Sequist did a good job for Pine Creek, coming back and cutting that shot off by Shaughnessy. Now here's a ball played forward to Jackson Isaacs. Almost had a shot. What a great job by Bankford back there on defense to cut off the shot by Jackson Isaacs, the freshman.
Sequist doing a great job, takes a peek and sees Isaacs running off of him on the far side, completely cuts the ball, turns around, has a nice 45-yard ball right on his feet. But Bankford doing a great job out of that center back position. That was one of those uh-oh moments for the Lancers, but Bankford doing a good job cleaning things up from the center back.
Here comes Sequist coming on as a race, and a good job. What a great job by Luke Price coming out of his goal, cutting down the angle and getting himself between the ball and the goal. And we're coming back the other way.
An absolute textbook save for Price. He stays big the entire time as he's coming out and waits for the last second to go to the ground. A veteran like Sequist understands how to put that ball in the back of the net. And you see it here. Price is going to come out. That's a great ball to Price, to Sequist. But Price stays big, 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 and then slides at the last second and makes that save. That's a really, really good pass there for number 18, Justin Abadi. And Luke Price doing a great job keeping this game all square.
But just like that, the Lancers are back on their end. They get a throw in. They're waiting for it. They're going to have a goal kick. Norwood thought they would retain possession, but no. Officials say, give it back to Jake Zink. Let's keep this game going. We got 24 minutes, 40 seconds in the first. 0-0 game. Kind of what we expected. This is going to be a tilt of high-powered teams. Both of these teams have suffered some losses on the year. I did look that up. Liberty's lost 4 games, all to top 25 teams. And Pine Creek has lost 6 games. 5 of those 6 losses came to top 15 teams.
And I think that's why you see, even though they have 6 losses, the Eagles sitting there at 26. It's because of who they've played. We've talked about it with last night's broadcast with the losses that Mitchell had and you know, losing to the top 15 teams. But with talking to Coach Corley before the game, you know, he was joking that they actually moved up a spot yesterday not playing because all of these teams that they had played got wins last night. And so that opponent's record that into that formula of the RPI is definitely helping out the Eagles with the strength of schedule.
And they switch fields on it now. They'll look ahead. On the far side for Pine Creek, they'll slow it down with Liam Reynolds. And again, trying to get it to Brian Silver up the right side.
And that's the same ball I talked about earlier from the Lancers. That's just too hard of a ball. You don't need a 60-yard diagonal ball across the field. There's too much space to cover, and it's going to be easily picked off by either the midfield or the defense. You want to play through each other, have little 15-yard balls, simplify your touch like you're seeing here from the Eagles. That's how you're going to build up this attack. A big swinging diagonal 60-yard ball isn't going to work with the defense as good as the Lancers.
Reynolds misplays it slightly, gets it back to Carter Esterly at the mid. Now back to Aiden Cavanaugh. That one goes through to Reynolds, trying to move it forward to Valentine.
And that was a great dummy by Abadi there, number 18, coming into this game and definitely leaving his mark right away. You know, a very creative player in the midfield for Coach Corley.
Valentine can't collect it because it goes off Liberty, and Pine Creek will maintain possession here. Cavanaugh gives up the throw in as he gets the penny from his teammate Landon Platt, who will do the honors throwing it in. Gets it into Silver, who makes a nice turn. He'll send a cross in there. Look out, dangerous play as the goalie is out of the net. Christian Valentine has a chance. Reverses it and pouncing on the ball. Luke Price. What a great job by Luke Price. I was worried he was out of there, but he did things well here.
When Luke Price finds himself in no man's land, just scrambling, defensively scrambling, and unfortunately for Pine Creek, not able to get anything on the end of that. Instead of trying to get that last second or third touch, you just want to turn and hit it at that point. With the defender scrambling, with your goalie off his line, just turn and hit it. The Lancers very fortunate that Pine Creek couldn't figure out how to get a shot on frame there.
Here's Silver with a nice move. Again, he's got Valentine with him. Loses the touch, comes out to Valentine, back to Silver. They touch it forward. Bankford misplays it there. Now he comes back to get it. And the Lancers avoid tragedy again there.
I was just checking down at the Lancer bench looking at Coach Woodson, and he had his palms pumping down to the ground, telling his team to relax. And you see it here in the last couple minutes. Pine Creek is definitely getting very comfortable in their ability just to play through each other and create these opportunities. Coach Whitson trying to tell his guys just to relax. It's okay, don't panic. But you've definitely seen the game change in the last couple minutes into the Eagles' favor.
Nice ball again, sent inside by a body. Liam Reynolds did a great job taking away from Norwood there, taken right back by Benjamin Bierman.
Reynolds did a good job of running through the ball there. Instead of waiting for the bounce to come down, he ran all the way through the ball and helped his team maintain this possession. And it feels like Liberty hadn't been able to connect multiple passes here for the last couple minutes. The Eagles doing a very good job of just simply playing through each other, making it easy passes, but utilizing all 11 guys and building up their attacks.
So Pine Creek, now you see their players drifting back. This will be Bangford with the free kick. Sends it in there. It goes high in the air off of Abati. The Lancers try and gain possession in their side. Can't do it. Running back now, Quintana. And they will keep possession over there on the far side.
What I like about both of these groups is you can tell in a game this big with so much riding on the line, they keep going to the bench. The depth that both of these programs have. We saw it earlier. We were just watching the JV game, and the talent from the JV game, you could tell that both of these programs are deep, and both coaches going to the benches early in this first half and getting lots of guys playing time. Everybody's going to stay fresh this afternoon.
Benitez and Slade come out. Crafts Timming comes back in. Jake Zink will have to play this one from the goal kick. That's the thing about the Lancers, though. They may see a lot of offense from Pine Creek, but just as quickly they can get back on that counter. And we were in a replay, and they actually got a shot on goal the last time.
That's the two players up top. That's the danger, that the speed of the Lancers. Coach Corley was talking about it, having to defend their speed. Both units up top have very dangerous players, and so you have to be cognizant of not getting sucked up too far forward offensively because that counterattack is going to be there.
Esterly now. Being chased, a good job by Platt. You just take that one in, kicked out of bounds by Bierman. Oh, there's a tough throw inside. Callaway had it for a moment, couldn't keep it alive. Reynolds now sending a nice ball forward. But Luke Price comes out to play that one rather easily.
And we've seen the speed of Isaacs into this game already, and you can see what Reynolds is thinking. He has a speedster on the outside. Maybe I can hit this through ball right away and connect to my teammate. But there is space in the midfield now that the game is settled in. Reynolds could have kept that ball, carried it further, and allowed himself to be defended, try to suck up the center backs before handing that ball off to Isaacs.
Nice job in the midfield by Norwood, taken up by Callaway. Callaway sends it forward. He's got a man out there, Jesse Boyd, who's going to run this one down. He's got Norwood in the middle. Comes across to Bierman. And now back come the Lancers.
Pine Creek doing a good job with their team defense there. You see coming all the way back, number 18, Abadi, to be able to defend that ball and clear it out. Pine Creek doing a great job as a unit. You see the five of them work back, including the defensive midfielder, working back and making sure they have the numbers in place to defend that cross.
Abadi with a touch. And Quintana will play this one back to Price. They'll start to reverse the field from there. Nice job and a good steal by Abadi. Abadi comes up across Cameron. Cameron falls down. Abadi's got a chance to cross it. And a good job by Price to get out there and get a hand on that one. Not sure it was going to go into the goal.
Luke Price doing a good job. Unsure, when you're unsure, dive and knock that ball away. And he doesn't know where the runners are coming from. He's focused on the ball, so go ahead and make that save. Push it wide, just in case there are some Pine Creek players on the backside that you didn't see. A good job this first half from Luke Price. Had to deal with some early pressure, but keeping his team into this game and not allowing that goal to be given up.
Jackson Isaacs, the freshman, comes out. In comes Joel Strouch for Pine Creek. Reynolds with the throw-in. He's got Sequist down there with the header. And this is a live, dangerous ball in the box. Silver now comes down with it, but no. Taken away by Bierman. He's going to come up the left-hand side. Silver giving chase. Bierman keeps it alive. Silver goes down, and it's going to stay Liberty ball. Ben Corley can't believe that call.
And there you see Bierman doing a good job of running through the ball. That ball's bouncing around, a 50-50 ball. Bierman ran right through the ball and gained that possession, but then sprinted forward with it down that left hand, the near side of your screen, that left-hand flank, doing a good job of forcing himself to be defended. That's what I was talking about earlier. Now with the wind at your back, look at number 16, Tyra here on the ball, try to drive this ball into the PK mark.
Tyra gets a good foot into it. It gets through. Ooh, Norwood was there, but Liam Reynolds gets his foot on the ball and sends it out.
And you can see the idea the Lancers are just trying to flick that ball on. When you can hit a low-driven ball, you just want to deflect it, just have that little flick. You see it oftentimes in hockey with the shot from distance, just trying to get something on it to change the angle on the goalie, and maybe you can slip one past the keeper.
Inside now, a tough push right there, no call, as Liam Reynolds comes away with the ball.
And that's the veteran Reynolds doing a great job closing down the space, but then finding the players on the outside, attacking the width of the field.
Now back in the center, this is Sequist. A body tried to touch it over to Schrader, couldn't get it there. Now we got to run. Quickly coming up on the ball, though, is Jake Zink to stop that threat.
And that's a good job from the Eagles of scouting, knowing that Liberty wants to get out and run and have that quick transition. Zink is way off of his line, prepared to come out if he needs to, even outside of his box to make that save on a 50-50 ball. Both these teams, we talked about how that familiarity between the groups and both of these coaches, but that's where scouting comes into play. Zink is playing way off of his line because he knows the Pine Creek or the Liberty midfielders are going to be looking for a big ball forward.
Silver with a push towards Sequist. Out of his net once again with a big save, Luke Price, but look out. Oh, look at Price again. Unbelievable, Luke Price with two big saves, and the nets are still clear on the Liberty back end.
And you hear clapping from both sides right here. A great 50-50 ball. Price comes out hard, takes out everyone, including his defender, but then the awareness to get back to your feet and get back onto your line. He does a great job here coming off his line, making the initial save, but then having his head up right away and knowing that he has to scramble back to his right, and you see him get back on his line, makes that save, but then has to clean that third save up, that secondary clearance out of there. Luke Price doing a great job this first half.
He's done a fantastic job so far. 1.04 goals against average. I see why. 55 saves. Give him a few more here today. There's a nice long throw in. Lancers cut off quickly there by Bangford, doing a great job defensively for these Lancers. Liam Reynolds gets it back, drives a low ball, but Price is there. Not going to beat Luke Price with that.
And Price does a good job making the initial save, but then getting the ball out quickly to his outside back and reversing the ball. Now that everybody's been sucked on the far side of the pitch, he does a good job reversing that ball, and unlucky to make that connection, but you see how much room there is if you can have that quick reversal. Price doing a great job not only defending the goal, but starting that attack with that reversal.
Jesse Boyd tried to get it to Dawson Calloway, and instead it goes out of bounds. And again, more substitutions as Reynolds will come out, get a blow for Pine Creek. Lasarica back in there. Nice touches ahead. Wayland. Both teams so good in the midfield that it's really going to take a break. It's going to take whoever gets that first nice ball with a forward running at it.
And you can see the ideas. You can see the through balls that are coming, and that's from that inside-out play. If you can simplify your touch in the midfield, attack the flank, but then that's where the channels are going to open up for a through ball, and both these teams are looking to slot those passes and get the through balls. Right now, Pine Creek has been closer than Liberty, but you can definitely see the ideas of trying to attack the flank and play that through ball. Here's another one.
Nice job. Landon Platt got that ball back for Pine Creek. Sequist still playing this one. Again, running through the ball like you talked, but there is Luke Price right in the way of that ball, preventing the goal once again. Brandon Shaughnessy comes back out for Liberty.
And Price makes that save and reverses the ball again, and they're off to the races, the Lancers. Sequist doing a great job for the Eagles, but because of that team defense for the Lancers, it's 3-on-1 up there. Pine Creek has to get their midfielders more involved because it's a numbers game at that point. It's attrition, and you don't have the numbers forward to be able to help out a player like Sequist who's just trying to do it all on his own up top.
Sequist was all alone right there. He touches it back and waits for some reinforcements. Whalen sends it deep. Sequist is there. Lasarica tries to get it to Sequist. Look at Christian Sequist just continue to play this ball, and now it's taken away by Landon Platt.
And that's the team defense for the Lancers. It's all of these 50-50 balls defensively. There seems to be a red jersey everywhere. They do a nice job of getting back defensively.
Yeah, they wanted a call there, and they finally get it on Dawson Calloway. Dawson Calloway talking a little to Landon Platt down there. Yep, now the official will tell him enough the talking, young man, right?
Well, and that's, this is a rivalry. We're going to have a stoppage right here. The referee's going to talk to the players. Like I said, both of these teams know each other very, very well. Both these coaches know each other very, very well. And so this is what you expect in a big-time 5A soccer game. Both of these coaches are talking to the referees talking to the players. Nobody wants to start throwing cards like crazy. And so this good veteran officials that we have out there are just trying to slow everything down, take a break from the game, tell everybody to relax. They've had a good game so far, but don't let it get so heated that it gets dirty.
Kaleb Norwood was substituted in for Dawson Calloway, who's nice getting a little earful there from head coach Chaz Woodson.
And knowing Coach Woodson, he's talking to it. He needs him on the field, and I know that that's the message right now is he has to be on the field for the Lancers to win this afternoon. But he's going to have to show some maturity and be able to relax and understand there's going to be some banging involved. You got to keep your head.
So Pine Creek now retains possession. John Schrader going to get the ball back. Schrader looking inside, and a good job again defensively. Quintana back there along with Bingford to cut that one off.
That's a good job, Brian, of the Eagles reversing the ball and attacking the flank and getting a good opportunity here. We haven't seen a lot of set pieces from up close, and here's going to be your first one on a corner kick coming. Look for Pine Creek to send in. They have the height advantage. Look for them to send in these center backs, the outside backs, some of these taller players coming into this game trying to get on the end of this cross.
Will Jones will take the corner. And we'll see Schrader's down there. We'll see how Pine Creek decides to attack this one. Nice cross inside. Good head, but it's just wide for Carter Esterly for Pine Creek, and a good set play there for the Eagles.
And that's a great ball, and you see Esterly finds too much space there. Unfortunate not to get that ball in frame. Does a nice job of heading it down, but just simply too much space inside the 18-yard box. If you're a Lancer player, you want to make sure that you are goal side. You want to be in between the player, the offensive player, and the goal, and they're Esterly finding all kinds of room. Just unfortunate not to be able to get that on frame.
Luke Price will put this back into play. So we're into the final fifth of the first half.
Coach Woodson would appreciate the math.
As you mentioned, both these coaches, unlike some other soccer teams around the area, both these coaches actually teach at their schools.
And they've been there for a number of years. They've been head coaches. They've been assistants. So it's something that they've truly been able to build. Coach Woodson, even though he's just in his second year as head coach, he's been a part of this school for so long. He's an alumni of the school, understands the tradition that Liberty High School's had. And Coach Corley obviously has been here forever at Pine Creek. So it's great because it's promoted that rivalry, having two coaches that are so familiar with each other.
Price puts it back into play. Couldn't be chased down by Mitch Frost over there, who will put it back into play for Pine Creek. Wow. Got a C-130 flying overhead.
A little late for the pregame flyover.
And that's a slow flyover. Pine Creek moving it forward. Schrader at the midfield. Nice turn, but good job defensively for Benitez to keep that ball from going any further up the field. Lancers will come forward and play this one. That's Clayton Scott, one of the seniors for this Lancer team in the game. Benitez.
And there you see the Eagles doing a great job of just sitting back. They're not panicking. They put together a pretty good first half. They're going to sit back and make sure that they're shored up defensively and not allowing any space. Liberty is trying to find that space, right? They're looking around for those midfielders. It's just limited in their space.
Here comes Schrader. Up the field on the far side. That's Strouch. But again, Liberty collapses, makes good defense, gets it back to Schrader. Running quickly to catch up with that ball, Liam McKenna in for Pine Creek.
And here you see Pine Creek doing a great job just dominating the possession. They're able to find each other. A lot of white jerseys getting touches here, and it seems like the red jerseys, Liberty's just doing a lot of chasing, especially in the midfield. Pine Creek with their simple, good touches right there, creating some opportunities for themselves.
Boy, and Luke Price has no problem running out and playing that ball.
Well, and he's had to because of all of these through balls coming his way, both of these keepers. We've seen it with Price, but also Zink having to come off of their line and be strong off of their line because of the through ball attack from both of these teams.
Well, Kaleb Norwood made a nice play to get by there, but then Pine Creek cuts him off. Schrader comes back looking for Sequist. He'll keep playing it. Jimmy Lasarica. And now the Lancers play keep away from him. Clayton Scott looks up, has a man, sends it, and off on the run they go, and that is Carson Stevens trying to get it for the Lancers. But it'll go out of bounds, and it'll be Pine Creek goal kick.
And I think that's an example of being heavy on your touch with the wind howling at your back. We oftentimes talk about how it can be an advantage, and it absolutely can. But there you see, you got to make sure that you have the correct weight on the pass, because if it's a little too heavy like that, the wind's going to push it through the end line. There the Lancers trying to attack the flank, but unable to with the wind at their back.
Jake Zink, senior goaltender for the Eagles. Played 1,100 minutes this year. Doing yeoman's work. Lasarica now. Trying to get it to Sequist. Taken away by Benitez and the Lancers. Brandon Shaughnessy moving ahead. He had Norwood there. They'll go into the outside. Travis Slade. Slade has to be cut off, and Mitch Frost does a good job to just get it out of bounds, be able to back up and play some defense.
Slade doing a good job sprinting to that ball and keeping it in play and forcing Mitch Frost to come out and defend him. That ball easily could have gone across the touchline there for a throw-in, but Slade doing a great job sprinting, and now we see Callaway back into the game. Such a dangerous player up top. He got his 5 minutes to relax, get his head back into the game, and then look for him to finish strong in this last 5 minutes.
Kaleb Norwood with a nice turn. He gets it to Callaway. Callaway, we'll see what he does with it. Tries to get it back to Norwood. Norwood's right there. Saved by Zink. Zink came out and played that ball, and Norwood can't believe it. He thought he had a goal.
And there's your Callaway-Norwood connection. A great flick on the ball and a good one-touch, but there's Zink doing a great job coming off of his line, just like we saw earlier from Price, having to come off his line and get low and make sure that you make that save. But that combination up top for the Lancers, you see why they're so deadly. They do such a good job. Callaway and Norwood are playing off of each other, but Jake Zink having that veteran keeper back there, coming off of his line, making that sure save for the Eagles.
Boy, Norwood just was wishing that he had just hit that one a foot higher, and it would have been a goal. Here's Benitez with the corner kick, sends it across and out. Probably didn't misjudge the wind maybe a little bit on that one.
Well, and that's trying to drive that ball, but when the wind's pushing it that way, you need to move your mark out, maybe top of the 18, so it'll float back into around the PK mark, because if you try to cut it too close there, you're going to see what you saw there, just go across the goal for an easy goal kick.
Mass substitutions for Pine Creek. Silver, Schrader, and Strouch come out. A body comes back in. And Zink plays this one. Reynolds. Whalen. And Pine Creek reverses field.
What I love about both of these coaching staffs is a player like Schrader, a veteran, really good player for the Eagles, comes off. And Coach Corley is just teaching, just talking to him, having one-on-one conversations, and just helping him out. Both coaches know there's a long way to go in this game, and you can definitely see their profession coming out in their ability to teach their guys as they come off the field.
A body collects this one. He's going to bring it forward. Oh, I thought he would have a chance for a cross, but great job again defensively. Both these teams so disciplined defensively.
Well, and they do a good job of just getting their numbers back, and it makes it really, really tough because there's no room to operate.
Callaway gets it to Norwood. Norwood trying to turn. And Shaughnessy plays it forward, but Callaway couldn't gather it, and Zink will have to play it for Pine Creek.
Seems like anytime somebody's building an attack, you can just start counting the defenders' numbers, and there's just 3, 4, 5 defenders, some of those midfielders coming back to add to those numbers and cut that space down. You see it there, you see 4 defenders around Callaway as he's trying to win that ball. Both teams so disciplined defensively. You can see why they don't give up many goals.
Benitez lets this one go back, and it's Benjamin Bierman who plays it back to Benitez. They're looking. They've got their players forward. We'll see. Bangford now. Back to Benitez in the middle. It's a nice ball looking for Norwood, but too far. And Zink will play it as a goal kick.
And that ball's just too direct. You want to be able to hit that ball to the corner, allow your guys on the outside to run onto it. And you saw it there. Ryan Benitez knew it. As soon as he hit it, he put his hand up, a little frustrated with himself. It got away from him. Too direct, right at the goalie. You want to be able to push that ball wide. But Benitez is finding space in the midfield. It seems like Reynolds and Benitez both playing those center midfield positions. There's space out there to be had in the middle of the field. And both of those guys are doing a good job of operating and finding their players on the outside.
Jake Zink wasting some time here, sending it up. Liam Reynolds will try and get ahead on it, and Pine Creek. Sequist makes a nice play. Schrader on the outside will gather this one. We'll see if the Eagles can get something going. Schrader with a nice cross. Bangford almost had an own goal there, but good job defensively nonetheless.
Bangford doing a good job here on his left foot. The ball comes across his body, but then making that clearance. He probably wasn't as worried as we were up here with our angle, but here with in the final minute of the game, Pine Creek's pushing everybody forward, trying to get it. We saw the last corner kick having a lot of space. Look for Esterly in the middle of the field trying to get on the end of this cross.
Liam Reynolds takes this one. The big left foot inside. A good job by Shaughnessy to get his head on that one for the Lancers, but it's still alive for Pine Creek. Nice turn here by Schrader. Schrader looking to find some space. And again, the Lancers just collapsing on that one. Jackson Isaacs sends this ball in low. Price will kick it out of there. And the Eagles won a corner kick, and that clock is running down. But there is a man down on the field as well for the Lancers.
And I thought it was interesting that Price didn't pick that ball up and deciding to clear it out for a corner kick, because now with the injured player, the clock is going to stop with 4 seconds left. That's enough time for Pine Creek to be able to hit a corner kick and get on the end of that. It's going to have to be bang bang. But I was surprised if Price could have hit that ball for a throw in the end of the half, and we'd be into it.
Devin Quintana was the injured Liberty player. He'll come off right now. He met by Chaz Whitson. It's a good look at Chaz, and it'll be Will Jones taking this kick.
And I'm not quite sure why not every Eagle is forward. I'd throw everybody forward, including my keeper right now, knowing that there's only 4 seconds left.
Low ball kicked out of there, and the threat is over, and so is the first half. But it was a good first half. Two teams that are very, very evenly matched. It's been fun to watch. Don't go away. We'll come back with a little halftime show in just a few minutes here on 20 TV. We are at halftime at District 20 Stadium. Brian German alongside Andy Little as the Liberty Lancers and Pine Creek Eagles have played to a 0-0 tie at halftime. But there were some highlights and some chances for goals, and Luke Price kept the Lancer goal empty.
There you see a body doing a great job feeding that ball to Sequist, and then Luke Price coming off of his line doing a great job staying high, and then it happens again. Luke Price doing a great job battling, stays up, and then goes to the ground last second. And on that last one, he makes actually 2 saves quickly, but then an opportunity here, and keeper Jake Zink for the Eagles having to do the same thing. These keepers haven't had a lot of opportunities to make these saves, but when they've had to be big saves here in the first half.
Huge saves, and it's kept the score 0-0 right now. Ben Corley has his team out on the field. Chaz Woodson is about to come back out, and we will come back as well in just a few minutes for the start of the second half of this one. 0-0 at District 20 Stadium. We're back at District 20 Stadium getting ready for the second half of this 5A boys soccer matchup, Pine Creek and Liberty. And Pine Creek is out on the field. There's a good look at Christian Sequist and John Schrader, two of the key players for this Pine Creek team. And they've been held scoreless here in the first half as the Lancers take the field here for the second half. Andy, what do you expect? I mean, we've seen some chances, but both goalies have been up to the task.
Well, and both defenses are so good, so well organized. It takes such creativity to score goals with both of these groups that this is kind of how we thought it would play out. We knew it was going to be a tight game. There's a lot on the line. It's a big rivalry. Neither team is wanting to make a mistake, especially defensively and giving up a goal. And because of that, you've really seen the game played in the middle of the field, except for a couple of those through balls where both keepers have had to come up big.
And we're set to kick off the second half. The officials synchronizing their watches. Andy synchronizing his, and here we go. Schrader gets it back to Mitch Frost, who plays it across to Silver. Silver with a nice turn. They got Schrader in the middle. Nice touch to Sequist, but couldn't get it there, and Price will have to play this one out of the goal for the Lancers. And
the wind isn't as strong as the game started, but still in the advantage of the Eagles now. It'll be interesting. Now that they're not going into the wind, does that change the game plan up? Some of these through balls, are they going to push farther and cross the touchline, or are they going to have to adjust with their touches? But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out this second half.
Bangford kicks it forward to Norwood, and Callaway trying to chase it down, and Pine Creek comes back with possession. Carter Esterly in the center field. Now Silver. Schrader just sitting there waiting to make a move.
Silver and Esterly doing a good job out of their center midfield positions, just working through space, getting some touches on the ball, not panicking. You can see they're trying to reverse the ball and see if there are openings, but not panicking, not trying to hit a wasted ball.
Whalen sends that one forward. Couldn't be collected by Sequist. And again, Price will play it. And the party chant starts up by the Liberty Lancer faithful. P-A-R-T-Y. At least they know how to spell.
Well, and we did talk about on a day where there's not school to have both of these student sections come out and represent and root on their teams. That it is nice to see. This is a big rivalry. It's two schools that traditionally are very, very good at soccer, have a lot of depth and history to their programs. And so it's nice for the kids to come out.
Nice job by Callaway here, forcing things. Gets one in on Zink, but he makes the save. And that all happened because of the pressure by Dawson Callaway.
Well, Dawson Callaway doing a great job having that quick turn. You see he turns the ball between his own legs and able to turn and square the goal and have it shot low and wide. We talked earlier about with both of these veteran keepers, you're going to have to hit the ball low and wide. That's your scoring angle, and there you see Callaway doing a good job of it.
Callaway to Norwood. Back now to Crafts-Timming. Crafts-Timming makes a nice move, comes inside, tried to get it to Shaughnessy, but it's cut off. And back out to Schrader and Pine Creek. John Schrader makes a nice move to stay beyond Benitez. Now cuts it to the center to Sequist. He keeps it alive. Christian Sequist. Will he play that? Oh, thought he could have played that longer to Schrader to get him to run towards it, and it goes out, and Pine Creek will keep possession.
And he might have Sequist there trying to hit the outside of the right foot in that subtle touch, maybe playing that ball to the corner and allowing Schrader to run onto it there. But Bierman doing a good job defensively from his outside back position.
Look out here, Sequist right in the middle. Shot, goal! Christian Sequist gets us out of a 0-0 tie. It's 1-0 Pine Creek.
And Sequist doing a good job of just working all game long. He's been up top by himself. Here he finds some space for the first time this afternoon. Has a missed touch and able to size that one up and hit that ball up and wide to the net, going upper 90 on it. Luke Price not being able to scramble to his left to make that save, and a great job on that half bounce of taking the one-time hit and tucking it away in the corner.
Great look here from the goal cam. That's what you call a postage stamp. Send that one home to mama. It's 1-0 Pine Creek.
And that's exactly what Pine Creek needed to do. Knowing that they're sitting on the 26th mark in the RPI, they need to get a solid result here, getting a tie and or a victory, so putting themselves in a good position early on. Let's see how Liberty's going to respond now.
Norwood and Reynolds playing tough. And here comes Sequist again trying to play that ball, and we've got a whistle and a foul. They're going to hold it up because of Reynolds, who went down hard in a collision with Norwood. And now the official talking to Kaleb Norwood.
And there's the official on the 50-50 ball. I think Norwood, who fouled him, actually took the worst of it, hit going to the turf there, landing on his hip. But on this 50-50 ball, you see a big collision between Reynolds and Norwood. And there's your leading goal scorer for the Lancers coming off. And P.J. Gardner, the trainer for the Liberty Lancers there, checking out their star forward for the Lancers.
P.J. does a great job, though. I wouldn't be surprised if Norwood's back out there in just a couple of minutes. They're looking at his left side, it looks like. He went down hard in the collision with Reynolds. We're back in action on the field now.
Well, and the turf doesn't give, so when you hit square on the turf, it rattles you for sure, and it looks like he just hit square on that left hip.
Lasarica trying to get around the corner, and a good job defensively. Kicked out by Peyton Cameron, but we're going to have a corner kick for Pine Creek, and they are buzzing now. And
we've often talked about the first fives after to start of the game, to start of the half. Now your first five after giving up a goal, how do you respond? And it looks like that goal created some energy for Pine Creek. Liberty here needs to figure out how to respond, get a good, solid defensive clearance out of the ball, because here come the bigs for the Eagles.
Reynolds sends it in. Nice touch out by Tyra, but Reynolds is back there, and tough one there as you saw Will Jones on the backside was hoping to get a shot over here.
And that's what I was talking about, making sure you get a good clearance, because if you don't, you have that second and third opportunity on frame. Lancers there lucky. They didn't get that good clearance, but the shot was just wide, so it ended up not hurting them. But you need to do a good job of having that one-time header out of your defensive third. Otherwise, you're going to keep facing that pressure. Now you see Reynolds going to throw in the ball, and we've seen that long throw in a number of times. He has the wind at his back now. Look for a deep throw in into the box.
Let's get a man in there. It was offside. Christian Sequist had to get back, and now the Lancers really under pressure here, and we get a call. And a bump.
It looked like there was a shoulder, or it looks like there was a shirt pulled in that mix. But, yeah, Reynolds' ability, now that he has the wind at his back to throw the ball in, you can stand all the way next to the keeper if you want to, and he's going to be able to throw that ball into the PK mark and almost treat it like a free kick.
Landon Platt with a nice tackle over there, but the Lancers keep it alive. Here's a push forward and shot over the goal, and what a great opportunity for Jesse Boyd coming in from the left flank.
And Jesse knows it for sure. He takes that ball on. He doesn't have a great angle on his right foot here. Maybe he could have touched the ball to his right, a half step to give himself a better scoring angle, but a great job of finding some space, not able to get over the top. You want to get your knee over the top of the ball and drive that ball. The ball floats on him. But then you see Coach Woodson pumping his guys up. He knows that's a good opportunity. He knows his group still has some fight in him, trying to just root for his team right now. And there's a good example with Boyd up top, creating an opportunity for yourself and trying to get that equalizer.
So now Jake Zink will play this. Brandon Shaughnessy. The nice touch, and the Lancers will stay alive. Get it on the outside to Crafts Timming. Try to get it to Callaway. Taken away by the Eagles. Silver. Pine Creek, just too many players there defensively for the Lancers to do anything. Got to get that ball on the outside to get the attack moving.
Well, you can see it, including the midfielders. There's 6 players back for the Eagles. You're not going to be able to go down the pipe on them. They are protecting the middle of the field for sure. But here you see Sequist again's done a great job. Well rewarded on the goal, but he's fought so hard this afternoon against this Lancer defense.
Yeah, Ben Corley told us before the game that Sequist is the man who runs up top, never stops running. Nice move here. He's going to come back out front to Mitch Frost. Frost will strike it. Oh, hits the crossbar. What a shot by Frost. And I'm not even sure Luke Price knew where that was coming.
Well, we talked about having the wind at your back and being able to drive that ball, and you're going to see Mitch Frost that stays over the ball and just smokes it. Here he tees off on it and hits it. But, yeah, I'm not sure Luke Price had any idea that it was going to go off the post. You see the sun. Look, he's looking right into the sun as the ball is coming, and so fortunate not to give up that second goal. The Lancers are. But, oh, my gosh, what a strike.
The Lancers come back now. Get it to Shaughnessy in the midfield. Benjamin Bierman on the outside. He's got Crafts Timming with him. He'll try and push it forward, and it's going to go back to Pine Creek. And Mitch Frost will be able to throw it in. There's a good look at him. Well, he struck that ball well last time down.
Well, and because you get sucked in defensively, he finds room out of that outside back position. He has all kinds of space, and with the wind at your back and your ability to hit a ball, absolutely have at it.
Joel Strouch and Bankford doing battle right here, and Bankford goes down. Strouch was down, and now we get a whistle, and it's going to be Liberty ball. That's a good job defensively by the senior, Brennan Bankford.
We've called his name a number of times out of that center back position. He does a nice job of just clearing things up. And here's just one-on-one defending, not giving up the space, and not allowing any room to operate, staying on your feet and taking the contact.
But Reynolds comes back for Pine Creek. Lossarica cut off by Cameron for Liberty. The Lancers come back the other way. They'll push it ahead to Jesse Boyd. And Pine Creek sends it out, and it'll be Slade to throw it in. He comes quickly back to Benitez. The Lancers try and keep this thing moving. Try and push it forward to Crafts Timming. And again, the Liberty trainers still working on Kaleb Norwood on the bench. And you can see that his presence is missed in that Liberty offense.
And you know Norwood wants to get back in this game. He does a great job from that up-top position, or even as a center midfielder getting forward. And you know he's doing everything he can to get back in. You know trainer P.J. Gardner's doing everything he can to try to get him back into this game, especially down a goal.
Carter Esterly now at midfield. Turns on Boyd, sends it back. Platt will play this one. And a nice ball forward looking for Sequist. Sequist does a good job trying to contain it, but it's kicked out of there. And now Callaway with a turn.
It's a great turn by Dawson Callaway, and to be able to find his player on the outside. Unfortunate there that number 3, Quintana, not able to take that ball wide. Misplays it off of his first touch. But there you see Dawson doing a good job recognizing where the switch of the field's coming from, having the technical ability to turn and hit and get that ball wide.
And 3 players come back in for Pine Creek. Aiden Kavanaugh, Christian Valentine, and Justin Abadi come in. Looks like Silver, Lossarica, and Reynolds will come out.
And such a blessing for Coach Corley to have those guys be able to come off the bench. We saw Abadi and how dangerous he could be in the first half, but to be able to give those guys a break. Silver's doing a great job in the center midfield position, but you don't lose anything when you go to your bench, and it's such a blessing for the Eagles.
Jackson Isaacs, the freshman, back in there on the left flank for Pine Creek. This one played forward. Valentine and Shaughnessy doing battle. Come back to Abate, and his pass is intercepted, but quickly Pine Creek regroups. Valentine, the touch on the outside. Get it over there to Aiden Kavanaugh. Couldn't run it down. It goes out of bounds, and it'll be Liberty ball.
And that's a good combination play between Valentine and Kavanaugh. A good little 1-2 touch. Unfortunate not to be able to get on the end of it. But here you see it. Big number 10, Kaleb Norwood, coming back into this game, and he doesn't look good walking out. But you know he's going to gut it out when you have such a talented player up top, somebody who's scored so many goals for your group, and that leadership that he brings to this Lancer group. He's going to do everything he can to try to gut out the rest of the second half.
Ryan Benitez will get a quick breather to get Norwood back into the game. And now Christian Sequist picking this one up. He'll get it over to Landon Platt for the throw-in. Sequist will take his usual spot in the middle of the field. Here come the Eagles. Whoa. Sizing up for a kick was Isaacs, but now they move it forward to Dawson Calloway for the Lancers.
And Callaway is very talented, but you see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Eagles sprinting back defensively, especially with this lead, making sure that they're back in their defensive organization. But a turnover here, and watch out, here come the Lancers.
Here come the Lancers. Jesse Boyd on the outside. He's going to go right at Zink. Oh, just over again, and a good job defensively there for Pine Creek to challenge Boyd as he came in. Here's another look at it.
So Boyd coming in hard right here. Is he going to cross? Is he going to hit? Opens up his hips and hits that ball wide. If you're going to strike that ball, stay over the ball, get your knee over the ball right now, plant your foot in front of the ball and drive that into the back of the net. Otherwise, open up and cross it. Looks like he was a 50-50 decision for him, and that indecisiveness causes the ball to sail over the goal.
It was Carter Esterly who hit the ground right in front of Boyd. It was another reason why Boyd had to go high.
Which is exactly what you have to do. Sometimes defending is pretty, and sometimes you just have to scramble. And there you see Esterly getting back and just getting down on the ground and doing everything he can to try to make it difficult for Boyd, and does a nice job scrambling defensively.
Kicking it back in is Zink. Sending it out of the Lancers, and Pine Creek will be happy to play this possession game here now with a 1-goal lead in the second half.
Well, and you can see for the Eagles, they're keeping the numbers back. They're not pushing all three midfielders forward in the center, making sure you have that defensive midfielder there, and just trying to do this: play the ball wide, have a through ball, and be able to step up together.
Jackson Isaacs keeps it alive, but can't do it a second time on the edge there. But what a ball Valentine put out there for him.
And that's a good ball, and that's a good job by Isaacs of trying to scramble to keep it in, not allowing the corner kick, or the goal kick rather. Instead, make it a deep throw-in, have that initial touch, and I know he wanted to have that second touch and keep it in play and sit on it, but a good job getting to it and making sure that it's not just a simple goal kick out of the back.
They'll get it into Norwood. He gets pushed from behind by Valentine, and they'll move the ball up ever so slightly. Benjamin Bierman with another throw-in. He lets it go. It's actually going to be a free kick. Bingford will take it. Crosses the field. This is Clausen, who sends it forward looking for Callaway. Callaway on the run. Platt is back there, and he'll kick it out of bounds, but more pressure by the Lancers gets him a good movement of the ball and a good possession up here in the offensive side of the field.
And Landon Platt absolutely understands the speed that Callaway brings, and so not overthinking it, sprint back with everything you have and just play the ball wide and make sure you get regrouped defensively.
Now on the outside, they go into the middle of the Clausen. Clausen shot! Oh, what a save! A great job by Jake Zink to get his hand on that one and send it wide. But what a strike by Clausen.
Clausen doing a great job there. You see this touch to the right gives him a better scoring angle and hits that ball wide. But you're right, Jake Zink doing a great job here, diving to his left, making sure he gets that touch on it, that last second fingertip touch, keeping this game in the advantage of the Eagles.
Chayton Cioli Clausen, the junior midfielder, with a nice touch there. And now Liberty comes with Carson Stevens on the corner. In the middle, dangerous ball inside there, kicked up by Christian Sequist. Oh, still dangerous.
And we talked about the defensive clearance into that possession. Pine Creek not able to win that ball and get it out, and having to scramble a little bit defensively to get rid of this ball. But there's that man again, right? Sequist doing a great job of just scrambling, keeping the ball at his feet, working through tight spaces and collecting that foul against Norwood.
There's a good look at Sequist and now Norwood. And Pine Creek quickly to put this ball back into play. Aiden Cavanaugh trying to chase it down, but the Lancers will take over there. Gabriel Prada out of bounds trying to get that ball, and now the wind has kicked up just a little bit more, which doesn't help the Lancers at all as they are going into the wind here in the second half.
What's nice for Pine Creek, obviously not only sitting on this lead, but you've allowed your big guns some rest, and you see them about to re-enter this game. Number 9, Liam Reynolds, and number 10, Jonathan Schrader, about to come back, and I guarantee you they're not going to come off again. But able to get that 7-minute rest that you want so you can finish the last 20 minutes of this game strong.
And there's Christian Sequist again, playing strong in that midfield. Gets it over to Abate. Abate on the corner to Jackson Isaacs, and they call him offside.
There's Isaacson trying to push that line. He needs to back up and not push forward, but push wide and create some depth for that channeled ball and stay onside. But you see the idea there for the Eagles.
Here comes Dawson Calloway. Plenty of Eagles with their attention on him. They come back to Clausen. He plays a ball in. No one there as Zinkel take this one, take his time with it.
And that's a ball that's too direct. Clausen there needs to open up and play that ball to the corner or collect it himself, take that space, and then hit a ball. We saw it earlier where he didn't overthink it, took one touch and was able to hit the ball there. Instead of trying to have that direct through ball from 20 yards out, either play it wide or be selfish and have one on net yourself.
Nice touch forward, trying to find Sequist again, but the Lancers cut it off. These quick touches by the Lancers just not connecting. And Pine Creek there defensively. And now Jesse Boyd is down for the Lancers. He's up playing. This game getting more and more physical as we go deeper and deeper into the second half. And we get a timeout called. And I think they're looking for Boyd, and he's nowhere near the spot where he was laying moments before.
When you wondered, he stretched out for that tackle and immediately started grabbing his leg. So you wonder, if he strained the muscles trying to stretch out, but looks like he's able to walk it off. But now we're going to get a foul and a free kick here opportunity for the Lancers as they push the numbers forward. Everybody's back defensively for the Eagles on top of the 18, making a hard line.
Davis Tyra with the free kick, and we got a whistle. Hold on, he was not ready to go.
Because there was stoppage on the play for the injured player has to come off, and so you're going to see the injured player come off there and have to make the substitution. So number 14 entering the game. Shaughnessy's back on, but the Lancers throwing everybody forward, and Pine Creek defending for their lives now on this free kick.
Shaughnessy, the second leading scorer, so you have to substitute, but not a bad guy to send back into the game. Second leading scorer for the Lancers with 6 goals and 16 points on the year.
And just like we talked about with Reynolds and Schrader, here's Shaughnessy coming back into the game, was able to get his little break and have an extended period of rest, and now he is going to be able to finish out this game.
Christian Sequist comes out along with the body for Pine Creek.
And I know what Coach Corley is talking about here with the official. He's wondering if there was an injury, how come they're getting a free kick, but it's because there was a foul on the through ball while there was an injured player down. And so that's where the foul spot is for the Lancers, but it's a unique situation because there was an injury on the field to stop the clock, and that's what the official is explaining to Corley. But I would have done exactly what Coach Corley did. I brought the official over and make sure that we're on the same page and wondering why I'm giving up a dangerous free kick right here.
Tyra will take it. as it's pushed back just a little bit.
And it looks like Coach Corley won the argument. This is actually going to be a throw-in, not a free kick, it looks like, coming in. And so now Coach Woodson has his hands up and wants the explanation as well, thinking that he was about to get a good free kick opportunity.
But Carson Stevens will do the throw-in. Instead, Chaz quickly handing it to Stevens.
So it's kind of unique because there was a 50-50, and I thought maybe a foul. Evidently there wasn't a foul, but with an injured player down, kind of created a unique situation that usually you don't see that continued play when the player is down.
There's Clausen trying to push it forward. They'll keep it for the throw-in. Crowd can't believe it, and that's okay because Pine Creek got the ball right back after the second touch off the throw-in.
You don't think they like that, huh? From that reaction?
At least this side of the stands. That ball's still alive. Norwood is there. Kaleb Norwood trying to play it. Gets it to Shaughnessy, who couldn't get enough leg on it. Knocked out of there by the Eagles.
Well, and that's the wind. That's the spin on the ball. That's playing on turf. Both of these teams practice on grass, but then moving the turf, trying to figure out how that ball is going to land.
Nice ball ahead to Jackson Isaacs. Oh.
I love the fact that Isaacs there just tried to one-time it quickly on the keeper. Instead of collecting the ball, he knew the Lancer defense was chasing down on him. So instead of worrying about that team defense getting back in your face, try to hit that good one-time touch on the frame. Maybe you surprise keeper Luke Price off of his line and get a second goal for yourself. I liked that chance.
Good look at the freshman Jackson Isaacs there. The only freshman on the Pine Creek roster this season. I'm assuming they'll have a few more next year because they're losing a bevy of seniors.
Well, and this is a group that's won a lot of games, and they haven't had the season that they thought they were going to have coming into it. But it's definitely a veteran group. It's as they qualify for the playoffs, regardless of their seeding, they're going to give somebody a tough game. They're looking like they're going to be an upper 20 seeding. They're going to end up getting a top 10 team, and that team's going to have their hands full.
Here comes Isaacs again. The move on, and a good job again by the goaltender. Can't say enough about the way Luke Price has played this game today, the senior for the Lancers.
Well, I love that Price stayed on his feet. A lot of times keepers go to the ground early and they end up they get roofed. They end up giving that scoring angle up top. But he stayed on his feet and created that own tackle for himself. And that's what allowed him to take that angle away from Isaacs. Isaacs did a good job of taking it right to the keeper, but usually you're able to chip it over the keeper, but not there.
Here comes Platt. Playing it forward. Tells Kavanaugh to get on the move on the outside. Esterly now playing it. He will play it to Kavanaugh out there. Try to get it inside to Christian Valentine. Bangford is there. Runs through and does a great job taking that ball away from Kavanaugh. Now Norwood.
What I loved about Bangford there, instead of just having a big clearance out of there, he has his head up and able to find his teammate instead, and that allows for the buildup. A lot of times you see those center backs will win the ball, and they'll just hit a 50-50 ball out of there for a defensive clearance. But Bangford doing a good job there of finding his playmaker Norwood and able to start that counterattack.
Dawson Calloway draws the foul on Frost. Good sportsmanship here at District 20. Helps Calloway up, and Liberty gets a free kick.
So wind in your face, float this ball to around the PK mark, try to find the runners, Norwood on the end of it, and see if you can get a flick on a goal.
Tyra sends it in there. It's headed out by Esterly. Lancers trying to get that second ball going. But it comes out to Christian Valentine.
Valentine doing a good job just sitting on top of the ball and taking on the double team. A great job working in tight space there, able to maintain that possession, but a good job attracting a crowd and not just giving up the simple throw-in.
Pine Creek soccer fans liked that one. Esterly tried to get it to Schrader, stolen away by Norwood. And now on the far side for the Lancers. That's Timming, now back to Norwood. Norwood in the center was looking for a strike, but they'll get it on the outside from Carson Stevens. And he wishes he had that one back. Chaz Woodson a little bit excited there.
He's not the only one who wished he had that back. There's Coach Woodson, and what Coach Woodson's telling him to do is you had time and space, cut that corner, and get into the goal. Instead of taking that early hit, that's a really tough angle on a right-footed shot. Instead of taking that early hit, try to collect that ball, take it down the end line and cross it, or dive into the goal. Collect that ball and take that hard angle into the goal, just like you saw Isaacs do earlier, and force that keeper to come out and make the save.
18 minutes now left in this one. Pine Creek with that 1-goal lead. And Jake Zink puts this one back in play. Comes down to Sequist. Ben Corley talked to us about Sequist before this game, and he is right. He is everywhere, and he does a great job. Once he gets his foot on that ball, he can keep control.
Well, he just works, and that work ethic that he brings up top makes life difficult on the defenders. That you know you're going to have your handful because he chases everything down.
Strouch on the outside, sends it across. This is Schrader. Schrader going to hit it from there, and it'll go wide. That's one Schrader wishes he probably had back as well.
Well, I like the idea. You had plenty of space. Try to get over the ball and hit it. Unfortunately, it was a miss hit. You want to put everything on frame. You don't want to have a wasted turnover by hitting a ball wide. If he can get over the ball, you know the sun's in the keeper's eyes. Luke Price is having to deal with the sun in his eyes. Get something on frame and force him to be able to see that ball and make that save.
Kevin Prentice in the game now for Pine Creek. The Lancers trying to move it up, trying to get the equalizer. Norwood. Nice ball up the field and cut off quickly by the Eagles. Schrader. Wayland. Play it back to Zink. Pine Creek surely will take their time here when they have possession on the defensive side. Callaway wants to come back into this game. Dawson Callaway will probably be playing the final 16 minutes of this one. Norwood will get another breather. Of course, he got banged up just a few minutes ago, so maybe PJ wants to take another look at him.
Well, I know you want to keep Norwood and Callaway out there together, but if you're not healthy, you can't. And so it's a like-for-like substitution with both of your two top goal scorers coming. You want to have them both out there, obviously, but if you can't, then put them in for each other. Maybe you can get Norwood some rest. Maybe you can get a little more treatment and try to finish out the last 10 minutes of this game.
And here we come by Callaway. Nice touch there and a tough one by Clayton Scott. Stolen back by Benitez. Benitez looking forward, had Shaughnessy. He'll go outside to Timming. And
Benitez doing a good job of finding Kraft Timming on the outside. Unfortunately, too heavy on the touch and not able to find one of those runners, but that's where the space is. But here's a good example of life being hard. Even if you give up a foul there, just the fact that Sequist is not going to allow a simple out from the back. He is up there all by himself. There's 30 yards of space between him and a teammate. He is working all alone, but make life difficult. He does a great job of that up top.
I know he's got the goal in the game, but even if this game was still 0-0, I'd say he's definitely Pine Creek's most valuable player today.
Well, you know, you can be that point in that point forward position. That's where your value is. You know you're going to be living life alone on the island, so you just kind of work through multiple players. And because of his size and his technical skill, he can take on that second and third defender.
Osirica plays it to John Schrader. Schrader tries to turn it up to Silver. The Lancers are there, and now Pine Creek regathers at midfield. Here come the Pine Creek cutting it off.
Well, and exactly what we gave credit for with Christian Seacrest. You're going to see it there from the forward for the Lancers. Dawson Callaway does the same thing, just chasing everything down. And you have to be creative in the defensive third to find your out because these forwards up top are going to make life difficult for you.
And Pine Creek got something going now. On the outside, a nice turn, and it's kicked out by the Lancers, and they will maintain possession down there. Good job by Osirica.
So here you see number 9 coming into this game for the Lancers. That's Liam Reynolds. He's your deep throwing guy. You know he wants the ball here. And because of that, the Lancers can have to defend this like it's a free kick because the Eagles are going to throw a ball deep and get their numbers forward. And you see them line up on the back post just like it's a corner kick.
Reynolds gets some air under it. The Lancers are there right away. Benitez now tries to gather it and send it out, and he does. Moving on the outside, but quickly cut off by the Eagles. And back they come with a nice move, Mitch Frost. Mitch Frost gets around a couple of Lancers, falls down.
And I really like what Mitch Frost did from his outside back position. He came up and took that space away. He made a 30-yard run forward to take that space away and make life hard for the Lancers. And they weren't able to get that defensive clearance, in part because he was willing to chase all the way forward and keep that ball in the box.
And Jake Zink comes back and plays it. Under 13 minutes now left in this one. The Lancers probably will start pressing as Crafts Timmick plays it on the far side.
And there's a good job of that team defense, just not finding any space. They're trying to attack down the middle, and there's just no room to operate.
So they come to the outside, and Strouch plays it forward. Sequist there to play it. Does so well, Andy. Like you said, he just plays through the ball and ends up making good plays because of it.
Well, and you have to. You're by yourself, so you're going to have both center backs, sometimes an outside back on you as well, and you just have to be strong on the ball and be willing to take that contact. And he does such a good job of forcing the issue and being very active pressing that top line.
It goes out of bounds. And the throw in for Platt and Pine Creek.
And there you see number 23, Esterly, coming back in your game. He's your defensive center midfielder. So now you've been able to give him a 5-minute break and be able to reset, get those starters all back into the game, and try to keep guys as fresh as possible. Know that Esterly is going to stay back now and protect this 1-0 lead in the last 10 minutes.
Strouch working it up front. Comes back to Frost. It's a good fancy footwork, and Dawson Calloway comes away with it. And it's a foot race. So he tries to get away from Mitch Frost now. A nice move there to keep it forward. Callaway being hounded by Jones. Now Strouch gets in there and falls on him, and we're going to get the call. Strouch gets up slow, and maybe remembering that Callaway had to be warned there in the first half. Let's try and get him mad.
Speed. And Dawson's Callaway speed here. You have to honor the speed. And on the double team, you see Strouch just coming in, backing up into Callaway. But that speed of Callaway to be able to have the ball on his own on the outside and has to attract the second and third defender because he's so quick, because he's such a playmaker. Now you see Pine Creek defending for their lives. Everybody back, all 11 inside the 18. Trying to do the best they can to get their bigs on the end of this defensive clearance.
Slade puts it up. Oh, Norwood couldn't get his head on it, but it comes out for a shot here. And nice shot by Shaughnessy inside as they played that ball well. Davis Tyra got it inside to Shaughnessy, but he couldn't get enough on it.
Shaughnessy doing a good job taking on the center backs, tries to turn on them, unable to get anything on that ball, but that's why you send that second ball right back into that box. Maybe you can get a deflection. Maybe you can find your player on the end of it there. Shaughnessy just unlucky to be able to get any more on that shot.
Now Pine Creek happy to take their time, trying to push it forward to Brian Silver. Liberty's there. Kylan Crafts Timmick on the outside.
And Liberty is definitely going for it now. They have their outside wingers all the way up, almost creating 4 players up top. You see Timmick in the far side of your screen trying to push that line as wide and as high as he can here as Liberty look for them to start sending balls forward as they try to get their numbers in place for this final attack.
Slade sends it forward. Got a man in there. Brandon Shaughnessy makes a nice turn. Got to strike that ball. Too many Eagles there to shoot through, though. Goes off of them, but they earn a corner.
Team defense. Get back. And you see it here. Everybody's back, trying to get in between the player and the ball, and a good job deflecting that. That's number 11, Landon Platt, who was back making sure he got the solid deflection out. But you see the Lancers going for it, and you see the Eagles, hands on their head, doing the best they can to try to defend like crazy here.
Dangerous times now here for Pine Creek as Travis Slade will take the corner. Gets a good foot into it. Oh, try to get Norwood on the backside. And we'll see if Liberty can keep the heat on here.
Zink comes off his line to make that save. Off the corner kick, unable to. That's a dangerous opportunity. If you commit as a goalie, you want to make sure that you make that save. Unfortunate there for the Lancers not to get anybody on the end of that once Zink is committed. And here come your starters for Pine Creek. Finish out this last 8 minutes. You see number 2, number 3, number 10 all coming back into the game. These are your starters. These are your closers for the Eagles.
And Liam Reynolds will throw it in as we get down close to that 8-minute mark, and that's where you think the Lancers are going to start to maybe press even more down a goal. As we said, this battle is for second place in the 5A Metro League. Both teams lost a Rampart earlier this year. Bangford comes back to grab this one.
It's second place, and it's a guaranteed spot into the playoffs. The loser of this match now has to just hope and wait and wonder where they're going to land in the RPI and in the final brackets that get released on Sunday morning.
Which actually right now Liberty is the higher-ranked team at 20 and Pine Creek at 26, so a win probably helps Pine Creek out more than it does Liberty.
And trying to run the math with the RPI, we were number crunching. I talked to Coach Corley. He was number crunching, trying to figure out if Pine Creek was able to win this game, would it be as simple as just flipping the two seeds and Pine Creek jumping up to a upper 20 seed and Pine Creek falling to a 26 or 27? But because of the RPI system and because of the math and because of the opponent's record and the opponent's record and all the crazy formula that goes into it, coaches are guessing right now. I know Coach Woodson's a mathematician. He's still trying to figure out how that formula is going to play out and seeding going to play out in the tournament.
Well, Coach Woodson can figure that all out, but it's when you get to the opponent's record. That's the problem. Liam Reynolds will have the throw in for Pine Creek. He's going to get this thing into the box. Try to anyway. And it's sent out there by Tyra.
So here you see Pine Creek. They're not going to be in a hurry throwing this ball in. We've seen it a number of times. Liam Reynolds has the big throw, but he's gathering his breath. He's taking his time, and he's going to make sure he gets a good throw.
High inside. Sequist is there. Got the head on it. Just wide.
And that Seacrest is just doing work. It's nothing there. It's a floated ball. But because he's chasing on the end of it, look at him running late into your screen and getting a last-second flick onto that ball. He's screaming at his teammates to work with him because he's working like crazy up top. And if you keep working with him, you can run off of each other. But there's Christian Sequist doing what he does. Just worked all day.
And he takes a tough push in the back by Bangford. Bangford's going to help him up. Didn't mean to do it. Good sportsmanship there. Give it a little hug. No problem, but the official is going to give Bangford a yellow card nonetheless.
And there's Bangford. He's just trying to play through the ball. I don't think that was a dirty play. Sequist does a nice job of just holding his ground and taking that contact and going to the ground. But I don't think it was dirty, but it was definitely a tough foul and tough late into the game. And there's a good example where I was talking about it. Players understanding and knowing each other. You see Brian Silver there talking with Bangford. Both of them are about to re-enter this game. Everybody, because of that familiarity, you saw Bangford go over and pick up Seacrest right away. He understands that wasn't a dirty play. That was just a physical play. He took his card, and he's going to re-enter this game right away. But, yeah, they're just chatting and talking about it. These are kids who have grown up to together with these neighborhoods being side by side. And that's what's created such a fun rivalry.
Clock now at 6:01 left. It'll start when this ball hits the foot of Reynolds. And they go to the side with it.
And that's because you have this lead with 5 minutes left. Don't hit just one ball in there. Throw it to Mitch Frost off to the side. Let him do some work in the corner and force the Eagles to try to get out of the corner.
Norwood to Callaway. Callaway trying to find some room. Reynolds comes over to cut him off. And a good job, and they'll call him with a push, and it'll be Liberty ball. And you can feel the urgency of the Lancers coming on now with Callaway and Norwood trying to get something going.
And that's Dawson Callaway coming all the way back. It makes a 60-yard run defensively to win that ball because you're exactly right. They have to get the ball back, and they have to get forward. So no matter where you're playing in the field, make sure you get back and then sprint forward.
Inside trying to get Shaughnessy going, but 4 Eagles right there to turn it back the other way. Benitez sends it forward. Timmick can't play it. And now Benitez comes back to Norwood.
The Lancers doing a good job here of not panicking and just hitting a ball wide. They're still trying to play their game and play the ball wide because you have to get numbers forward. The Eagle defense is too good just to try to attack by yourself. You need to play the ball wide. You need to get your midfielders involved because that's how you're going to create that advantage in the 18-yard box.
Well, if you're Pine Creek, you're pretty worried right now because the Lancers having some shots here, having some things going on. It looks to me, though, like, Andy, that Kaleb Norwood is hurting. I think he hurt his back. He went down in the big fall early on, and he's warm right now, but I got a feeling that tonight or later on he's going to be in a lot of pain.
Well, he's definitely not as active as we saw in the first half, but also earlier in the season. He's not moving as well. He's doing the best he can to just try to gut this one out.
Bangford hits a ball inside looking for Shaughnessy. Zink comes out and plays it.
There's Jake Zink doing a good job coming off of his line and winning that ball. He knows that if he can win that ball, he can hold it. That's another 8 seconds that you can waste. But you could also get your defense forward, and with the wind at your back, you can just hit a strong 50-yard ball out of there.
Christian Sequist trying to keep this one on the side for Pine Creek. Norwood comes up with it. Kicked out of bounds by Frost. And the Lancers still keep it down there. Nice foot up by Abadi. Sequist plays it off his head just to the center of the field. Backs Liberty up just a little bit more. And now look at forcing the issue.
And that's because of the rest you got. So players like Schrader coming into this game are fresh because they had an extra 10 minutes in the second half, so they can chase things down still.
Schrader gets bumped at midfield. A good job defensively. And here comes Bankford back with the ball. Timmig on the run and makes Platt kick it out of bounds.
And if you're Landon Platt, that's exactly what you want to do. Play the safe ball out and then look at the numbers back for the Eagles. Because you played that ball wide, you can make sure that you're back and have your organizational depth that you need in order to try to keep this shutout going.
Moving on the backside to Peyton Cameron. Cameron will look to create some space, get it to Norwood in the center. Over to Benitez. Benitez and Norwood playing give and go, and they're trying to get it to Shaughnessy, but every single Eagle is right there.
Well, you see all 8 of them sitting back there and protecting the middle of their goal.
Trying to get it to Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy trying to collect this one, but Landon Platt, good job defensively running back. Couldn't stop that ball from going out. It will be a corner kick for the Lancers, but a good job nonetheless by Platt coming back defensively.
Well, and Platt knew you want to try to get a throw-in, not a corner kick, so he's doing the best he can to chase that down. Tries to go to the ground and win that ball just a step slow, but a good job scrambling back. So here are the Lancers pushing everybody forward, trying to hit a dangerous swinging cross in.
Kylan Crafts-Timmick takes it. Inside it goes, and Eagles, the closest heads to that ball.
Well, and that's that height advantage that the Eagles bring. They do such a good job of getting those bigs right around the PK mark and going to the ball as a unit and getting that sure clearance out of there.
Bangford with a nice kick forward to Travis Slade. Slade on the outside has numbers. Oh, cut off. Great job defensively there by Will Jones for Pine Creek, and they'll kick it out of there. This is almost like a hockey
pull the
power
goalie
play right here.
Yeah. They, and Slade there probably needs to hit a cross because you have numbers forward and you're just trying to sprint onto the box. Instead of trying to be cute with the touch, get your numbers forward and just hit a ball.
Bangford playing it now, but just every time Liberty gets a ball, there's someone else there. Here comes Christian Sequist. He's already got a goal today. Moving across, takes a strike, and Luke Price is right there to get it for the Lancers.
And that's Price doing a great job of staying on his line and being able to read that ball. He's been fighting the sun all second half, but Seacrest with a good opportunity to put this game away, but Price making the nice save coming off his line.
Silver with a big kick. That one is going to be played by Price because it stayed in. Well, that was a nice kick there by Brian Silver.
And you talked about hockey. Dump the puck to the corner there. You're going to see it, a nice chip into the corner, forcing a Price to come all the way out and make the save. And now that you've lost this possession, now you want to sub for the Eagles. You want to take your time jogging off, jogging on. You're going to take your time throwing in this ball. The officials understand this, and the officials want the game to get going, but this is that gamemanship at the end of the game.
Joel Strouch comes back into the game for Jackson Isaacs, the freshman.
And here you see the next substitution coming in for Coach Corley. So every single time there's a throw in, he's going to substitute now and just tries to suck the life out of the last 30 seconds of this clock.
34 seconds. The officials did stop the clock. And back in we go. Callaway tries to keep it. Christian Sequist on the outside to Silver. Silver can just keep it out here, but he's...
And you're exactly right. Silver doesn't have to go to goal at all. Just take it to the corner flag. You're down under 20 seconds left. Just play the ball wide and sit on it.
Schrader sends it over to Strouch. Strouch now will send it into the corner, and there's 5 seconds. All he has to do is maintain possession, and that will do it as the Pine Creek Eagles get the win and finish in second place in the 5A Metro League. But it was a good game, good match by both these teams today, Andy.
Well, exactly what we were going to see. This is a rivalry game. There was a lot on the line, and it was a well-played game on both sides. Keepers having to make big saves both ways, but in the end, the Eagles and Christian Sequist found a way to get a ball on frame and score that goal.
The Pine Creek Eagles move to 7-6-2, 5-1 in the Metro League behind Rampart And the Liberty Lancers end the season at 9-5-1. They fall to 4-2. For our entire crew and my broadcast partner, Andy Little, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on 20 TV.